this occasion, Captains of Industries Expo. I commend the organizers for creating a platform that harnesses women's leadership, professional excellence, enterprise development, and across sectors. I must say that when the permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing spoke, I felt very enlightened that 5 of the departments were headed by women professionals. And that tells us that we can do more of mentorship to bring up the younger ones as we are preparing to exit. So do we really have issues in being recognized? In this room right now, we have capable women, engineers, architects, civil, town planners. They are all here. So do we really have issues? Do we really have issues? The conference theme, Work, Wealth, and Worth. Redefining work, building wealth, and elevating worth in Africans' built environment calls on us to rethink the structures that shape opportunities within Africans' built environment. Opportunities within Africans' built environment, and to deliberately position women and girls as key actors in shaping the cities and housing systems of the future. Shaping the cities and housing systems of the future. Innovation and leadership within these professions. Innovation and leadership within these professions. And that is why I said, as many of us that have demonstrated this competence, these leadership skills, are placed in a better position to mentor the younger ladies and women that are coming behind us. It is our duty to give to them what we already have. The gain may not be for us, but the gain is for the generations that are coming after us. Redefining work in the built environment requires dismantling outdated perception about gender roles in technical professions. Women must be recognized not merely as participants, but as professionals capable of leading projects and influencing policy as town planners, architects, engineers, housing developers, contractors, project managers, and policy advisors. Already we have enough women in these positions. Yes, they are few, but I tell you, the few that are there, that are in that corridor of policy, are in a position to speak out for the rest of us to follow and get ourselves recognized and rightly positioned to lead in these sectors that we are very capable. We are not looking for equality. We are looking for equity. We need a conducive environment to show the skills that we have, to make our own input, to do the designs, to lay the construction work, to supervise them, more innovative and more resilient. Because the power of a woman can never be underestimated. Urban development and housing delivery are powerful engines of economic growth. The housing sector alone drives employment across multiple value chains, from land development and construction to building materials production, real estate services, and infrastructure provisions. Yet, many women still face structural barriers that limit their participation in this value chain, including restricted access to land ownership, limited access to housing finance, and exclusion from major procurement opportunities. Addressing these challenges requires deliberate policy interventions. Government must strengthen policies that guarantee women's access to land and housing rights, Financial institutions must provide tailored financing for women-led housing and construction enterprises. And procurement system must intentionally create opportunities for women-owned businesses. When women are empowered to participate fully in housing development and urban infrastructure delivery, the benefits extend beyond individuals to families, to communities, and to national economy. Beyond economic empowerment, the concept of worth represents dignity, value, recognition, influence, and leadership. Elevating the worth of women and girls in the built environment requires ensuring that the women are adequately represented in relevant institutions, housing agencies, regulatory bodies, professional councils, and leadership positions across both the public and private sectors. When girls see women successfully designing cities, delivering housing projects, and shaping national policy, they will decide you can read any profession. Engineering is not reserved for the men. It's 50-50. Get in there, get encouraged, and then you will be where we are advocating for. The Nigerian Institute of Town Planners has continued to promote women's participation in the planning profession through the Association of Women Town Planners in Nigeria, which was formally established in the year 2021 and recognized within the framework of the Institute. Yes, the Women Town Planners advocated for this. Yes, it took a lot of effort, but we had some of our professional mamas in our midst, and they made sure they followed up. As they were doing it, they carried the younger ones, us along. Town Planner Lami Pike Ayuba is one of them. She's there, she's a young lady. But we followed them up, and they were in front championing it, and we followed up. And today we have that association very strong, very strong. And of course, the men are very supportive. And maybe very soon, we will have a woman president in the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. We are getting there. Within the framework of the Institute, the association works to promote and protect the interests of women in town planning. We join the council meeting. So when discussions are going on, we present that which concerns the women, and we make sure that the women are also carried along. Create awareness about the role of women in shaping sustainable urban settlement. Remember that the woman is in charge. She does not just manage her home. When she manages her home, it trickles up to her neighborhood, it moves to the community. And before you know it, women associations are beginning to gather. And before you know it, community developments are taking shape. So, we are very key in sustainable development and environment. The association has helped and inspire a new generation of women professionals who are contributing meaningfully to sustainable housing development and urban planning in Nigeria. As chairman, FCT chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, I strongly believe that professional institutions must take deliberate steps to mainstream gender inclusion across the housing and urban sectors. These include integrating gender inclusivity into professional standards and training programs, supporting mentorship initiatives for young female professionals and students, advocating policies that remove barriers to women's participation in housing delivery and urban development, and promoting partnership between government, private sectors, organizations, and women-led professional groups. So achieving gender inclusion in housing and urban development requires collective efforts. Government must enact policies that promote equity. The private sector must invest in women-led enterprises, Professional bodies must create mentorship and leadership opportunities, and educational institutions must encourage girls to pursue careers in the built environment. Above all, society must recognize that empowering women is not only a social responsibility, but also a strategic investment in sustainable development. In conclusion, as Africa's population continues to grow rapidly, the decisions we make will shape the future of our cities, communities, and housing systems for generations to come. For our urban centers to become inclusive, resilient, and prosperous, women and girls must not remain on the margin of development. No. They must be placed at the center of town planning, housing provisions, design, construction, and governance. When we redefine work, we open doors for innovation. When we build wealth, we strengthen communities through inclusive housing and urban and economic opportunity. When we elevate wealth, we create societies that are more just and prosperous. Let this conference serve as a call.
Will be presenting for 10 minutes and is the Director General, Nigerian Copyright Commission, Dr. John O. Asain, who will be speaking on safeguarding architectural and creative works in the digital age, and duly represented by the Acting Director, Planning, Research and Statistics.
Nigerian Copyright Commission, who, for a very cogent reason, is not here this afternoon. He sent his greetings and celebrates all the women in the house. Thank you. The topic is safeguarding architectural and creative works in the digital age. That's the one I'll be speaking on this afternoon as a staff of Nigerian Copyright Commission. Please, let's move on to the third page, please. Introduction. Every great structure we see today begins first as an idea. Before the concrete is poured and the walls are erected, there is a design. I could not say that very well. There is a design, an architectural drawing, or a digital model, or a creative concept that captures the imagination of a creator. These ideas are not merely technical documents. They are creative, intellectual, serving legal protection. It is therefore great honor for the Nigerian Copyright Commission to participate in this important conference, enterprise, and leadership within African built environment. Now, what is copyright? As we all know, copyright is an exclusive right that the law grants to the creator of a work to control certain acts that may be done by third parties in relation to such works. Copyright is original works, a creation of mind, something that you yourself you have, and will be. These are works that are eligible for copyright, the literary works, which are books, the articles, the computer programs, the speeches, then musical works, artistic works. We have the architectural design falls. We have the paintings, the drawings, sculptures, and photographs. Then the audio works, sound recording, and broadcast. I'm very, very fast because of the 10 minutes that was given to me. Next, please. Now, architectural works as a copyrighted creations. Under Section 2 of Copyright Acts, artistic works eligible for copyright protection including drawings, diagrams, maps, charts, plans, and work of architecture. This means that architectural drawings, the building plans, the 3Ds, the digital designs, and structural concepts, all are protected under the IP. Behind every modern building lies a creative process involving architects, engineers, and designers whose intellectual contribution deserve recognition and legal protection. The Nigeria Copyright Commission is mandated to ensure that such creative works are protected from unauthorized exploitation. Nigeria works cannot be lawfully copied. Cannot be unlawfully copied, reproduced, or used for construction without the authorization of the creator of copyright owner. This right allow architect, designer, right owner. This right allow architect, designers, and creative professionals to derive economic value from their innovations. As you can see, the rights talking about you making it somebody's work to become commercial. That the work. So we cannot just go now and see that our mommy here has just had a drawing because I have a hand, because I'm able to lay my hands on it. And that's how this is a beautiful work. That the next thing for me to start maybe selling, giving it out to people without having her permission. She has the right to sue me. We've talked about the duration. I said 70 years. Let's go on. So such actions undermine creativity. If you do that without the person, it undermines creativity, innovation within the industry. Nigeria Copyright Commission continues to strengthen enforcement mechanism and raise awareness to ensure that creators' rights are respected. That is our major work in our office. To be sure that everybody, every creators, every authors, original works, all are protected. All authors are protected, and their works, they have value for it. They are able to reap from where they sow. Not for somebody else to be celebrating while the original owner is swallowing in poverty. What are the remedies for infringement? The Copyright Act 2022 provides several remedies. Number one is the injunctions. You can use court to stop whoever is using your work. To stop them, then you can ask for damages or compensations from the person. You can ask the person account of profits where the infringer is required to surrender, proceed, everything the person has. If you are able to count them, if you are able to value them, you could have first asked that person to surrender. So that anywhere you see it, you will tell the person, this is my work. Why should you have it? Why are you using it? Why are you broadcasting my work to the public? The first one is, why register? Go back, please. Why registration is not required? Taking certain steps can make it much easier to enforce your right if someone infringes on it. Here are the practical steps. I forgot to mention that copyright registration in Nigeria, it is not mandatory. Your work is automatically protected. We should know that one. So far the work is original, it is your own and you can prove it. It is protected. So the first thing now, remedies that you can put, number one, you can document the steps. We've had cases that people will go to court and say, this work is mine. And that person will go to court and say, it is mine, originally mine. Now remains, remember the work must be visited. These works are visited. It is mine, it is mine. Now remains the proof of how the work was done. When you are having your architectural drawing, there are times that you drew and it's not like this. You start again. And you should try and document everything. You should keep dated draft and project files. Digital files often have metadata to show the date of creation. You should save the emails where you transmit drafts to clients or colleagues. You shouldn't trust anybody. The dates when it is being sent, if you have because we've seen cases of people sending their work, thinking they will have contract with that particular firm. They will return it back to the person and say, sorry, we cannot work with you. The next thing, the work is already being used by those people. You need to prove it. So the dates, when you had discussions with them, everything should be documented. Then using notarized affidavits that declare your authorship of the work, that one is also good. Maintaining contract and invoices that show your work on specific projects. Another one is use of notice and markings. You can use the copyright sign. You can also use the year of creation. You can use watermarks. You can put some password, some protected word in it so that they will not be able to copy it. Next, please. Then consider notifying the Nigerian Copyright Commission. I said it earlier that copyright is not compulsory. It's not mandatory in Nigeria. But you could as well notify us to have, under our e-registration scheme, to have your work in our database so that if there's any issue, you can easily come back and retrieve it, and that will be used to. Then you can use the contract and licenses. Don't give your work to anybody without agreements, without contract being signed. Don't release your work to anybody. Let there be contracts. Then that states whatever things that you want that thing to be done. If it's to be used for personal use, let it be there. If it's for commercial use, it's still when and for what particular purposes. Next, please. Then I want to talk about women creativity. I'm checking the time. That's why I'm rushing. Women, creativity, and the built environment. This conference particularly signified because it's outlined the increasing leadership of women in housing and construction. Across Africa, women architects, engineers, designers, and entrepreneurs are redefining the built environment and contributing meaningfully to sustainable development. Protecting their creative work through copyright ensures that their ideas can be transformed into economic value, professional recognition, and sustainable enterprise. By safeguarding intellectual property, we create an environment where creativity can flourish and where innovation becomes a catalyst for economic growth. She said, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, African cities and communities are not only built with bricks and mortars. They are built with ideas, creativity, and innovation. By protecting these ideas through the Copyright Act 2022, we empower creators, encourage innovations, and strengthen our creative economy. Thank you very much.
Are you just looking like that? Thank you so kindly. Thank you so kindly, ma'am, for opening our eyes to how important copyright is, especially in the built environment. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to take us on the gender-responsive development in the built environment, enhancing the role of women in shaping urban spaces and housing. To make this presentation is the National Chairperson, Association of Professional Women Builders of Nigeria. And I'm referring to Builder Mrs. Margaret Sati Shwaka. Are you just looking like that? Thank you. I almost dropped my name to pick up her. She has such a beautiful name, Shwaka. Thank you so kindly. Please put your hands together for her once again. Thank you. We celebrate and value. The louder we clap, the faster she's here.
Thank you so much for being able to pronounce my name very well. So many people always struggle with that name. I'm really surprised that you're able to pronounce it well. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for your patience all through. I appreciate the convener for this opportunity to talk on gender-responsive development in the building industry. And I will start by asking why gender-responsive development matters when we are talking about wealth, about what, and about work. Why are we bringing in gender-responsive development? Well, I want to start that gender-responsive development helps to redefine work in the built environment because it is about a shift from the historical pattern of an industry where the pattern of work was male-dominated, we now want a pattern of work and design and planning that is at least gender sensitive. So that is redefining work. So gender responsive development helps to redefine work. And it requires also transformation in our planning, design, construction of houses and urban spaces, moving away from the conventional procedures where we have focused on standardization and cost reduction to moving to more sustainable, intelligent, human-centered planning, design, and construction that can accommodate hybrid work lifestyles and considers the physical, emotional, and cognitive needs of the user. Gender-responsive development helps in building wealth by correcting gender inequalities in economic opportunities of the sector. It aids communal wealth creation by strengthening community relations and resilience. It drives economic empowerment by opening new pathways for women to participate meaningfully in the built environment. It helps to elevate the worth of all individuals in the built environment because it enhances our dignity, our value, our influence, and recognizes the contribution of women of development has been dominated by the male perspective. If you look at those that first went to higher institutions in the built environment, they were all males. Most of the opinion molders in the built environment have been male. So it's natural that they will use male perspective to formulate so many things in the, can you imagine? When it comes to the menial work, you see the percentage of women is so high, and 37.5% work in administrative roles. Only about so many of these Islamic dominated cultures, where where you have barricade of the women quarters and where men stay. The women quarters and where men stay. And the women were restricted to public life. And that is restriction from the economy, restriction from wealth creation. The master bedroom, instead of saying the parents' bedroom, they say the chairman, as if all top leadership positions have to be men. Just say the chair and so on. So there are so many of these. Manpower, they use it to measure the rate of to even inherit land or to even purchase land. And that is already a setback on the economic empowerment of the women, and even to rent houses, females will need a guarantor from a man to rent houses in certain areas. I learned that coppers in Lagos, sometimes female coppers had to go and look for someone to come and guarantee them before they can get a house to rent. All these are, yes. Then there is neglect of women perspective in planning, in urban and regional planning that has led to limited access to public amenities and infrastructure, lack of public toilets and a man and so on. So the wardrobe sizes were always inadequate. There was lack of sitting and resting areas for women and so on. Even the door handles, the ergonomic compatibility in the kitchens and so on, the furniture, the woman's body proportion was not considered. Then neglect of women in the construction itself in a male-dominated environment led to so many problems. Firstly, from the site layout, you can see that not all the hazards are well identified on the site. They overlook some hazards. I don't know, but that made it somehow not attractive for women, and the rigid work pattern that they feel women are not supposed to work on the construction site. You have to leave home on the site. You can discover that some of the user dissatisfaction in several homes, and low innovations, low productivity, less use of sustainable materials, impact of construction on families and communities were not always considered or catered for. Women experience limited freedom and risks to gender-based violence. Women spend more time on labor burdens and other household chores instead of spending time on paid works. So how do we now enhance the role of women in shaping urban spaces? First of all, policies on leadership in the housing environment. I'm happy that in the bank, the leadership of women the percentage is on the increase, but I may not be so very confident of saying that in the construction industry, because from research it's as good as 10%. No matter how many women CEOs of companies we have, that is just merely about 10%. So we still have a long way. Then we also need to work with influential community leaders and women with ability or address insecurity or poverty problems for women, especially single parents households. And then establish gender-responsive procurement policies that will help. Even platforms that will project women that are really in business. Call for legislation to prohibit discrimination in the construction industry, pay equity, removal of restrictions on women working night shifts, and so on. Because already they will make you to feel that you are not capable, so you should not work on night shift. You know, that's just a way of telling you that you are not fit for that place. Empower women professionals in the built environment, as we are doing now. Establish database for women-led businesses and train women entrepreneurs. Create specialized financial products. Empower women to accept alternative, let places like the banks accept alternative collaterals, not only formal land collaterals, other collaterals that are more flexible, like even vehicles can be used, even jewelries can be used as collateral so that you can get a loan for housing development and so on. Then demand for inclusive work culture that combats discrimination, address gender equality by addressing workplace harassment and supply flexible work conditions, provide mentorships and networking, other people have emphasized on that, ensure proper site facilities and safety for women in construction, provide community-based support and resources for women groups in building their capacity through skills training, and then promote women to executive positions and showcase female role models to inspire the next generation. Thank you. Conclusion, empowering women is not merely a matter of equality. Someone has said that it is essential for Africa's overall development. When women and girls are integrated to shaping housing urban spaces, the provision of housing becomes opportunity for greater economic drive. Therefore, enhancing the role of women to shape urban spaces, housing policies must be seen by every built environment stakeholder as a moral imperative. Realizing this vision remains the unfinished business of a gender-responsive built environment development. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly. Are you just looking like that? Her passion was so visible that I was almost tempted to come with my placard. We say no to systematic exclusion for women in built environment. Thank you so kindly, ma'am, for that great, great presentation. We celebrate and value you. We're moving on to the next presentation, and on this segment is about the last. On modern shifts in Africa's construction, flexible work, remote collaboration, and blended teams for women in construction. To be presented by the National Chairperson, Female Architect of Nigeria, and I'm referring to Architect Ene Agada. Are you just looking like that? Thank you.
Thank you very Wow, this has been an awesome conference. Thank you all for sitting down. I choose this topic. If you look at the theme for this conference, is work, wealth, and what? Recreating work, redefining work, creating wealth, and elevating our worth. So, why did I choose this topic? Because I believe that we need to be intentional about how we organize our work, how we restructure our work to be able to achieve more, using less time, and being able to impact the world at using so that we can have more time as women to be able to achieve other things, and also to be able to create more wealth using less time, and then creating more value, or creating more building our worth as females in the built environment. Last year, the Female Architects of Nigeria, we had an annual general meeting, and our topic on day one, we talked about, or we celebrated the Eco Glow, work hard and play harder. Because most of the time, the way the system is, you might get lost in the work, you might not be able to take care of yourself. And that is very, very important if you are going to value yourself or elevate your worth, because you cannot just be a moving, because if we don't use our time properly, we might just be existing and not living. I don't want to be so negative, because your health might not be too well and all that. So in what way, how can we work at the same time, achieve so much, and then also take care of ourselves? So these are one of the reasons why Africa is undergoing a historic wave of urban growth and infrastructural investment. Our cities are expanding at a pace that demands new ways of working, new partnerships, and new leadership models. Digital technologies, BIM, cloud platforms, data analytics, and mobile connectivity are no longer optional. They are foundational. This convergence presents a powerful opportunity. By embracing flexible and blended work models, we can expand women's representation in leadership, design, and delivery roles. And we can do so in ways that boost productivity, safety, and quality. But to seize this moment, we must acknowledge persistent barriers, entrenched on-site cultures, caregiving responsibility that disproportionately affect women, uneven access to technology, and policy gaps that slow progress. Our response must be practical, inclusive, and anchored in measurable result-driven work. Success is defined by quality, timeliness, safety, and value delivered to clients and communities. Collaboration is expanding beyond a single site. As we all know, today we work across different sites, not just a single site. You might be involved in a project, a broader view, and you learn more, and your views will be not just localized, but before you know it, you'll be learning a lot from your international partners. When collaboration is essential, remote work for design reviews and coordination, and asynchronous work for deep thinking and documentation. Policy pillars that enable sustainable flexibility, paid parental leave, accessible and affordable childcare, travel policies that reflect sorry. Okay, team cohesion without compromising performance, cultural shifts and guideways, clear expectations, robust performance metrics, transparent communication, norms, and a culture that values accountability as much as autonomy. I would like to emphasize that flexibility is not a concession, but a strategic advantage for talent retention, client satisfaction, and project resilience. Acknowledge concerns about supervision, accountability, and equity, and offer concrete governance mechanisms to address them. Digital backbone, BIM as a living project repository, cloud-based project management, secure data access, and reliable video collaboration to connect dispersed teams. Trust-building practices, explicit expectation, transparent progress, tracking versions, control discipline that respect varying bandwidth and work rhythm, skills for remote excellence, digital literacy for all team members, cybersecurity awareness and virtual collaboration, etiquette that preserves professional dignity and clarity, equity in access, ensuring that teams from smaller firms and remote regions have affordable access to essential tools and training, exploring subsidies, shared services, or regional training hubs to close the digital divide. A practical note on data governance and privacy. When collaborating across borders, we must adhere to ethical data use, consent, and privacy standard. Just like the copyright person said, copyright is not just about design. Even in when we use apps that are built by different companies, we must learn to adhere to their policies. We shouldn't try to pirate these apps that we are using, because when the companies are growing, they can do more for us, that we assist our work, and we get better value if we learn to use to buy the versions. We try to buy these apps online accordingly. We actually save more time, because the pirated ones won't give you your value. But if you buy directly, if you pay for their services, you get better services as well. Blended teams. What this means for women in construction is that flexible work and blended teams create more accessible pathways to leadership. They support sustained engagement, reduce burnout, and broaden career horizons beyond traditional site-based roles. They demand new skill sets, technology fluency, remote leadership, cross-disciplinary collaboration, and data-informed decision-making. So in closing, she's on this, so I have to leave a lot of things. In closing, the shifts we discuss are more than changes in work arrangements. They are deliberate investments in people, the women who design our cities, build our infrastructure, and lead our communities. When we tailor work to life and assemble teams that leverage diverse strengths, we unleash innovation, resilience, and growth that benefits us all. Thank you. I don't know if I was able to make any meaning, because I'm trying to cut. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Nobody would have simplified such a complex subject matter as to modern shift in Africa's construction. And you did justice to that. Please, let's celebrate this great leader, the national chairperson, the Homes Fund Limited, Mrs. Monsurat Muhammad. Is she in the room? Thank you so kindly. And you're so gracious with your cheering. Thank you. Please keep at it. The next is the AGM Abuja Zonal Office. And we're referring to Madam Grace Enyenting. Please, let's keep cheering them. Thank you. I celebrate and value you. You are indeed wonderful. The next is the BMFCT1. And we're referring to Mr. Danladi Garba. Thank you so much. I took a guess at that one, that he's a male, and I got it right. Yippee, the he for she. Please, let's celebrate him once again. Thank you so kindly. We celebrate and value you. And the next is the Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank Limited Managing Director. And this is none other than Mrs. Ngozi Chukwu. Are you looking like that? When you have stunning fireside participants like this and you are just looking, please let's put our hands together and celebrate the Managing Director, Infinity Trust Bank, as she makes her way to the stage. And at this point, I have the singular honor to very respectfully hand over the microphone to the moderator. And the microphones beside you are working. You just press the power button and then off you go. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to my panelists. It's a great honor being here, and thank you to the organizers for having us here, and trust me, for every woman in the room, I believe this is one of the beautiful sessions you want to pay attention to. We have very seasoned panelists here who have been in the mortgage space, who have been in the finance sector, and they will be telling us all what we need to hear about financing our homes. If you're a young lady here, not even just a young lady, if you're a woman here and you want to own a home, this is 2026, before the end of this year or before the end of next year, and right now you don't have all the money, but you want to own a home, please let me see your hands. I can't see it very well. Because, owning a home doesn't have to do with just the one you're living in. You need more. They say when you buy one, you should buy the second one. And for women, it's more than just a status approval. It's a security. It's legacy. It's inheritance. As when women own, they are thinking about their children, their children's children, their grandchildren. And this session is going to teach us a lot of things about how we will get into that ladder. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am. So my first question, so while I was doing the research for this panel, I got to research that statistics has it that Nigeria currently, people who subscribe to mortgage, that the GDP rates with which mortgage is contributing is less than 1%, and which, compared to other African countries where we have South Africa, that is doing about 30%, Namibia about 18%, Morocco about 20%, and all of that. As in, despite the fact that we have a large housing deficit, why is it quite difficult? Why do we have that low rate of accessing mortgage? And I see that even in that less than 1%, they said it's less than 15% of women that are actually taking those opportunities. So I would love, with your years of practice, Mrs. Ngozi, I would like you to address that question. Why do we have those barriers? What is our challenge?
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for having me here. I consider it a privilege. The question of mortgage in the Nigerian subsector, in the Nigerian housing sector, is a tough one. there are a lot of challenges, a lot of things that impede progress in that particular space. One of them would be policy, for instance. Now, I live in Abuja. I do business in Abuja. You find that people have properties, they want to buy them. Sometimes they are affordable within their reach, but they don't have title. And the bank cannot put their money on properties that do not have adequate title. So titling is one of the major challenges. Okay. And honestly, it is such an uphill task to actually go to the land registry and start the process of, getting your COF or registering your title. It costs so much, and then it takes a long time. It's bureaucratic and it's complicated. This is one factor that discourages people from even approaching the bank. Because when you come and you say, oh, I want to buy this property, and I tell you, sorry, you must get a COF. When you consider the process of getting the COF and the time it will take, sometimes you just throw in the towel and decide to do maybe a structured payment with a developer and all that. That's one. Then the second one is interest rate. Interest rates in the recent times has risen to, in fact, I was telling a colleague in the industry that this is an all-time high. In Nigeria, we benchmark interest rates against the MPR. So as the MPR was rising, interest rates was rising. So we got to 27.5% at some point, and interest rates went to like 30%. Now, how many people in Nigeria earn income that can sustain repayment of a loan at an interest rate of 30%? Very few. So that is why you see very few people are actually accessing mortgage to buy their homes. You see a lot of people struggling to have arrangements with the developer, oh, let me pay you over a period of 2 years or 3 years and all that, So apart from interest rate, a third factor would also be, well, I guess it's related, inflation. Cost of houses are so astronomical now that it's also well above the reach of the ordinary Nigerian, And then if I want to talk about why women are not in the mortgage space, they are not taking loans to buy homes, I will say basically it's fear. Yes, there's cultural restrictions. Like someone had said, a lot of people don't believe that. In fact, if you're a single woman and you are thinking to buy a home, your parents will say, are you okay? Do you want to drive the men away? You don't want them to marry, that kind of concept and all that. So, of course, if they are not buying homes, they are not taking loans. And then for some of them who actually want to buy, sometimes shops to do their business, sometimes their own homes to live in, they are so afraid because there's so much myth around mortgage. Some people think, oh, if you have to go and take a loan, it means that you have to bring your grandfather and grandmother. So they have this perception about mortgage that discourages. So without even trying, they give up. Without even attempting, they believe that it's something. And then there's so much distrust for the financial institutions. They believe that there are hidden charges. If you just go there, they will finish, they will clear your money and all that. So that holds them back. It's fear. A lot of women will think, oh, what if I start now and I'm not able to pay? They'll come and take my home, and the little money I invested would be eroded completely and all that. Yeah. It's fear. Yeah. There's a need for them to go out there and get information. And then the banks, the mortgage banks especially, we have a lot of role to play in this. We need to create awareness. There are lots of initiatives out there, even especially tailored towards women. Beautiful. There are products for women. There are DFIs that are giving money. Concessionary rates, for women products, for banks that, have mortgage products for women and all that. So we need to create more awareness so that women would know that these products exist. And they can actually take a loan to buy a house. I'll give you an example. In my early days in banking, I met a woman. She owned a boutique in Emma Plaza, and I used to shop from her. So I started talking to her about buying a property in a particular estate that we were, financing. And she was like, no. Where will I see money? I said, you have money. I see your cash flow. She said, Ngozi, please leave me. I don't want to enter trouble. You don't want to come and, I don't want to have high blood pressure. I said, you can do it. So I kept pushing and pushing. Eventually, she was able to raise. Okay, so another challenge again is the initial outlay, what you have to pay down. What I told her was, you don't have to do it at once. Every month from your income, put something aside. Whatever you make, just make up your mind that maybe 10% or 20% of what you make monthly, save it for a period of time, maybe for 6 months or for 1 year. And she did that. She bought her first house. She bought the second one. She has bought a third one through mortgage because she found that mortgage actually worked. Okay. You know, so we just need to overcome the fear and take the bold step. Thank you.
When you have your husband that has many, what is in your name come and join you. And then when it's time now, you are, pushed out. We don't want that to happen to us. So information is key, is important. You have information. And we know what a mortgage is. It's a facility that is provided for, by the lender, to the borrower to purchase, their homes or build. So when you know that, you have to take a step. What step do you take? What do you know? How do you go about it? There are many like banks, providing this facility, they give. There are mortgage institutions too, providing. All what you need to do is to take a step. I'm going to talk about Federal Mortgage Bank, the step that you have to take through the Federal Mortgage Bank. Commitment, you can now come forward for a loan. And then what Federal Mortgage is the same process you go through. First and foremost, be a contributor. That contribution as a worker is 2.5% of your income. And go through, or you can walk into our office, request to know where we have those houses built. So you can now make a choice. Sometimes you will look at it, it's a bush or it's very far. It may be bush today. Tomorrow, it could be, where people know. I started like that. Today now, that Apo now is a town, that place. The place that there was no road for you to move. So don't look at, where the buildings are. Just start today. Get to our offices. We will show you where we have some buildings. You start now. 6% and 7%. Okay. Then for the estate developers, it's just for them to make repayment 24 months is 10%. Okay. That becomes a collateral for you. Okay. You understand? Yes, so we are not, that building that they are going to buy becomes a collateral. So that stress is actually taken out for you. Okay. So, and then we have the step when you have done up to 6 months, like I said, and you can now buy, build, or construct by yourself. Okay. So we have different products. We have the NHF product. That one you have to go through a primary mortgage institution. Okay. For the houses, maybe you've seen a house that have title documents. You can now, apply through the primary mortgage institution of your own choice. Okay. And then they will bring the application to Federal Mortgage Bank, who will process. If everything is okay, you get the loan. These days, it does not take long. It's very short because of the iBanking that we have,
instituted.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So thank you so much. While you hold your thoughts there, because we are going to still come back. There was something Mrs. Ngozi said while she was trying to encourage her clients to get a mortgage. There's a research that says that the informal sector in Nigeria that contributes largely to the GDP in Nigeria as well, 51% of it is actually women-centered. So it shows that women are largely in the informal sector. So in essence, women are traders, women are service providers, some women in the early 2000s and all of that. A group of us came together to start some form of Isusu. And I will tell you, it's almost 20 years. And a lot of them have not defaulted. And you will see it it's an informal way of people saving, and an informal way of people paying back when they collect this money. Some of them collect it, they put it in their business, and they make sure that when it's their turn and all of that. So where I'm going is this. Are there banks? Are there institutions? Are there mortgage finance houses that has taken into cognizance most of these things? And is there a way for them to start using it? Mrs. Monserrat, this question is to build a formal credit.
And looking at the larger segment of the economy that needs this housing. Yes, we keep talking about housing deficit. But the majority of Nigerians that really need this is the households. The key household members led by women in the society are the ones that need this. And I believe if we have the adequate or commodity, they have their association. So all these associations are kind of a guarantee method that the banks need to look into, the mortgage banks need to look into. They also need to develop, our mortgage banks need to develop a credit scoring system that focuses on other parameters in determining eligibility and affordability of those people. They might not operate on a bank, formal financial institution banking model, but they have cash flow, guaranteed daily cash flow. You can determine their credibility from their utility bills. How well do they pay their bills? That speaks a lot about the character of an individual to borrow, right? So when you collate all this information, the digital hub, go to the market. I don't know of Lagos, but I know Abuja. You go to any market, it's either you're paying them, it's either OPay or Money Point.
Yes.
I bet you with those cash flow, you can determine what they earn on a monthly basis. And with that, you will be able to understand the cash flow cycle of their business and design a product that fits this group of informal sector. This model, it's an existing model. That has worked for centuries. So all we have to do is leverage on it, tweak some aspect of this to work under the mortgage aspect, and we will increase home ownership for the women in our society or for the household, because the women owns the household. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are almost out of time. I want to quickly ask Mr. Danladi this question. Then I will take a 2 minutes roundup from all of us. So like we have all said, I think aside from FMB that is talking about 6%, most mortgage, we are looking at 2 digits. We are looking at 20%, 26, 27, 30, like you said, and all. And there's that fear. Even if I start, what's the assurance that I am going to be able to meet up and all of that? So my question is, are there scalable strategies? Are there strategies that institutions can use to make loans accessible, that can use to soft pedal where there's a default maybe for 1 month or something, without also exposing the institution to bad debts? But are there strategies that you think banks and institutions can use to make it easily accessible for women?
Good afternoon, the moderator, the women in the house. The question is very to the affordability. If you look at it very well, it's 7% throughout the tenure of the product that you embarked on. And we have arrays of products ranging from rent to own, ICL, and NHF loan, and we are coming up with another one which it has already allayed the fear of any contributor or any person that has already gotten a loan in Federal Mortgage Bank to have a fear of either not making payment regularly, whether he can be able to forfeit his house or not. We have, I can still recollect during the COVID area, 2000, 2001, a similar case has come on board because most of our mortgages, they could not be able to make the payment, not because of anything rather than because of the circumstances that surround the nation and the world at large. We have a window, we call it forbearance. Forbearance is a window where, on case-by-case basis, whoever had an issue, he can be able to present it before the bank, and the bank will consider it and give some Federal Mortgage Bank that can be able to provide you these products. I implore each and every one of you to leverage on that and access to National Housing Fund that provide all the fare and can be able to you can be able to access your phone easily with little or no much contribution to the scheme.
Thank you so much, sir. We're wrapping up now. But I remember that Mrs. Ngozi said something earlier. She said that there are women-designed mortgages. Please, could you quickly tell us about this products?
Okay, like I had mentioned, some DFIs products, because the DFIs are there and they are willing to give these monies out.
Okay. So please, women. Okay, he wants to add to it.
My co-panelist here has mentioned the
one policy that you would want to see happen that would enable a lot of us here, or that you will look back in 2030, you would see that it's no longer 15% of women that are contributing into the mortgage system. But right now, you are even saying that they are overtaking the men in collecting mortgage. What is that one policy? What is that one thing that you would want to see happen in the mortgage space for women to be able to take? So I'll start from Mrs. Ngozi, Mrs. Grace, Mrs. Monserrat, and Mr. Daladi. Please, in 1 minute.
Okay, so financial inclusion, it's a gospel that has been preached but has not been quite implemented, right? So like Monserrat had mentioned, there are a lot of women in the informal sector. The banks should find a way to accommodate them. We can help them to build a structure where their income is actually verifiable, because that's usually the challenge. Some of them just do cash transactions, it doesn't pass through a bank, and so you are not...
They have been using to profile them and all those ones, so it will be easy for them. A lot of our, profile the available things.
All right.
The available things.
All right. So for me, what I want to tell every woman out there is, it doesn't make you less. It doesn't reduce the opportunity you have achieved. Rather, the merrier, the more the merrier, right? Please, I'm saying this from experience. I've seen it happen. We've had people under the family-owned funds help to own. It was just one person, Nigerian police. She's a woman. And honestly, she brought 20 other women that benefited. They demolished a barrack here in Gariki. Yeah, she brought 20 of our colleagues. The place they were staying was demolished. She benefited, and they all came in droves. I was so impressed. And I think women, honestly, we have that problem, but we need to overcome it. We need to grow together, and we can do that. We have information. Let us pass it on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before Mr.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. When you come in number, Federal Mortgage Bank could be able to accommodate you, and it allows the fare of titling, equity contribution, ownership of the house. So all this has been taken care of once you come in.
My name is Ememumo. I submit myself today. I want to be a case study. First of all, I want to start with Mrs. Ngozi. You talked about DFIs that have funds for women. And I was listening to you, please. Can you help us mention one or two? Because I got interested when you said there's a particular woman that you spoke to. At the end of the day, she bought an office space. After buying an office space, she was able to access one house, two houses, and maybe the third one. So please, you're going to adopt me today as...
Please, let's celebrate
the second woman. Why as an aide, our appointment is temporary. And I left National Assembly. Until I left, I couldn't have a house. 3 years ago, I left. Now, I'm a civil servant with a permanent appointment. And I've still not gotten a house. That's why I said today, all of you, you're adopting me. So now, Before I left my office to this place, my colleague said, I want to get my pension, 25% of my pension, so that I can see if I can get this. The other one said, I want to see if I can access federal mortgage loan. Please, sir. Two-bedroom. So I'm telling myself
to please attend.
Hello, Madam, thank you for your questions, and I think this question is directly to Federal Mortgage Bank indeed, because we are comfortable of that act. We have to take responsibility. We're supposed to provide you with a house. Whether you are a self-employed or you are working under a structured paid. I think there was a mismatch of information. Perhaps you must have been told you that there is still an opportunity ahead. The opportunity is you, as one of them, you need to make some provision of some equity. Perhaps if your affordability could be able to take that portion, we don't even care about the equity aspect of it. You continue, we run out the facility for you 100%. So definitely, lies with any of the Federal Mortgage Bank houses, any of the.
Okay, Madam, thank you for your contribution, and honestly, it resonates to a lot of people. And then with mortgage partners like Infinity Mortgage Bank here, where we finance home purchases. Infinity Mortgage Bank here, where we finance home purchases, and we're also very particular about women. In fact, currently our portfolio has over 38% women. Move into your own house, but you have to also be realistic, because quite a lot of our civil servants will lie to ourselves. Sitting down here, I want to live in Maitama. I want to live in Asokoro. But can I afford it? The answer is no. But you know what? I'll start from where I can afford. I always tell people over the years of my career, start from somewhere. It doesn't have to be. You are living in Garki. You might have challenges of wanting to move to a place like Kuje. Kuje houses are quite expensive, but you need to be realistic with yourself. What can you afford? Otherwise, my dear, a lot of civil servants will still end up retiring without a roof over their head, owning by themselves. So we need to tell ourselves the truth. Opportunities are there. Go to most of these mortgage banks. They have this product. They are in partnership with family-owned funds. They are in partnership with MRIF. Partnership with family-owned funds is about 9.5%. With MRIF is about 9.7%. They have NHF, which is 6%. So the products are there. The opportunities are there. And you can own this if we are all realistic to ourselves and face what it is we can afford. Start from there. And before you know, you grow up from it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We won't be able to take more. I wish we could continue, but we have to leave. There are other sessions. Please, let's celebrate all the panelists one more time. I'm sure this was a very informative session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. I crave our indulgence for a group photograph. Madam Convener, could you please join this photograph? Thank you. Our photograph team, thank you. Madam Convener at the middle, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. We want to especially appreciate Mrs. Ngozi Chukwu, the Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank MD, the BMFCT1, Mr. Danladi Garba. We also want to thank Abuja Zonal Office, AGM, Madam Ayintin Grace, also the head Help to Own Fund, Family Homes Fund Limited, Mrs. Monsurat Mohammed, and very specially our moderator, the senior partner, the priceless chamber, Barrister Adaku Chibike Ochiowa. Please let's celebrate this great panelist. And they just did here.
So, you know, when you hear about interior design, a lot of times people think about us at the throw pillows. They look at us as decisions after something much has been done. and they look at it and say they affect how buildings function, how quickly they sell. But what we don't realize is that, let's take for example, problems that happened, and I don't know, Madam Builder was speaking earlier, and when she was speaking, I really liked what she was talking about, how she said, they don't necessarily design for us women. And most times when you want to buy a property, it's women into consideration. And so you will enter houses, you'll see kitchens that the workflows are horrible, you cannot move through them. You will see bedrooms that are not designed for a woman's dressing table. And it looks like small things, but these small things are things that can make a decision whether to buy one property over another property. And the conversation we're having here today is to say, as developers command the same value, but the difference is the intentionality of the developer in bringing the interior designer, and not just from an interior design perspective, but understanding that how a space lives and how it experiences makes all the difference in whether or not you'll be able to sell that property faster. So a developer completes a building, a beautiful building. The architect makes it impressive. Most times when you see a building from outside, the architect has done something that is super stunning. And then the structure is solid. But when buyers walk into the apartment, the living room feels awkward, the wardrobe space is insufficient, the kitchen workflow is uncomfortable. Suddenly, the issue is not architecture, the issue is human experience. And for us interior designers, it is not about decoration, it is about strategy. The most successful developments understand this. They understand why interior designers are involved from the beginning and not the end. I want to share a quick story. So sometime in 2023, 24, there was a commercial building coming up. And as usual, people always assume that interior designers are expensive. I don't know where they got that from. Does anybody feel that way, that interior designers? Value. What you think you pay us, you'll make up for it in the quality and even the price of that building. And the fact that you will not have to make expensive mistakes. So they had brought us in, we started the conversation, they took us out of the conversation. Said, okay, no problem, we left it. Then the architect had done this really stunning building, fantastic. They had all the right experiences, the civil engineer. Let me use let me bring the term home. They're like metal shelves that you use for displaying. And what that meant was that the timelines became eroded. They had a goal that they wanted to be able to meet the timeline for the production of this, for the opening of this place. They were not able to meet it. It also meant that they needed to begin to start freighting things so that they are able to actually fix those things. And also, because they had built it that would bring, because these are mistakes that could easily have been avoided. So, how does interior design also drive property value? There are two ways. I have a drawing on my table. They're building, they want to build, and luckily the builder understood and said, you know what, I need you on this drawing before it even goes up. And what does that look like? They have gone to put the bathroom very far away. The walk-in closet is in the middle. We decide that, I don't really like this place. Let's look for somewhere else. It's because when you think about that experience, and users, sometimes we don't know the reason why we don't like something. But when we experience it and we feel it, something just feels wrong. And those are the things where we should be brought in two sections. And two developments may have the same location, the same size, the same construction cost, but the design determines the perceived luxury, desirability, emotional appeal, and the price buyers are willing to pay. Even as simple as the way a finish is selected, or even determining how a tile is laid. I know it seems so small, it seems like such a small thing, but these are intricate details that would determine whether one building is priced higher or priced lower. And when designers come in late into the design, common problems appear. Lighting points are wrongly done. Have you ever experienced a situation where you're sleeping on the bed and you want to switch off the lights, then you have to get up from the bed to go and switch off the lights? Who has experienced it before? Oh, yes. That is a design problem. That is a design problem. And a lot of times we don't realize that the way human beings live and experience a space determines how much or how willing they are to pay more for it. Kitchens are redesigned after tiling, which it should not be. Wardrobes are fixed that don't fit. You have poor MEP coordination. I've seen situations where you have different lighting source, but it's one switch. Once you switch off the lights, everything goes off, like unbelievable. And then you now have to have demolitions. How many people you have had to move into a house and then you have to start breaking walls, move wire here, move socket here, move switch here. And these are all avoidable. That's the truth. So when you bring interior designers early, you save money because problems are solved before concrete is poured. And we need to understand as developers, as people that build, that the risk reduction in that. Millions of homes, offices, mixed-use developments are being built every day. And if you look at the Abuja landscape, we'll see how a lot of this is happening. But the truth is that a lot of times we're just building structures and we're not necessarily building livable spaces. Because today's buyers, especially the new generation homeowners, we're not just looking to buy square meter area. We can buy land for that, isn't it? We're looking to buy lifestyle, functionality, emotional connection to space. And that is why interior designers must be integrated early in the development of a project. So, what are the 4 strategic roles that an interior designer does in a development? Number 1, as Nigerians, for us to sleep and wake up. It's also a place for us to say, you know what, this is our place in the world, and it's an opportunity for people to know who we are. Also, as market positioning, okay. So in a competitive market, buyers choose developments that feel different. And if you look at I don't know if you know about the Eco Atlantic in Lagos now, if you look at what a lot of those developments are doing, they're not playing around. They are very, very, very intentional, from the choice of the finish to the staging of the apartments, to creating show apartments, to detailing, to the luxury finishes, and many developments in that area, because they understand that the competition is steep. They know that buyers are not just buying based on per square meter. They are buying a vision of how they will love to live. So interior design is a sales strategy. It's not just finishing. I have some other notes here, but I think I'll just quickly skip because they're giving me the eye that it's time for me to leave. But just a few things. When should an interior designer come on during development? An interior designer should come on, number 1, during the concept. Just before it even gets up, we should come in where we're even having the conversations with the architects, understanding who is the target buyer, what is the development positioned for, and what is the overall interior architecture vision. All of this will now determine what the interior design will look like. The second stage where we're supposed to come in is from planning the layouts, circulation, storage, which is something that I find that is so lacking now. A lot of times, there are rooms, the living rooms, but there are no storage, and we need places to store things. And then also lighting strategy. As the day passes from morning to evening to night, What are the lighting strategies that we put in that design to make sure that the place continues to feel alive? And then the third stage that we come in is construction. We're talking about detailing now, finishes, joinery design. Joinery designs, we're talking about like things around wardrobes, kitchen, TV units, the likes, and then coordination with contractors. Coordinations with contractors is such an integral part of a development and its success. And a lot of times, again, they bring us at the end, but you should be bringing us at the very beginning now. And then this fourth stage is sales. You bring us in at sales, where we help with the show apartments, we help with staging, we help with understanding what that client were originally envisioned for and what they will likely be looking out for in determining whether or not this development is what they need or not. Interior design should not be treated, interior designers should never be treated as the final layer of a development. It should be part of the foundation of the strategy. Because when architects, developers, and interior designers collaborate from beginning, something powerful happens. Buildings stop being just structures. They become experiences people want to live in. Those. All right. Thank you all. All right. Thank you all.
Are you just looking like that? You can imagine when an interior and exterior expert talks about interior design. It's mind-blowing. Thank you for the enlightenment on the need for strategic partnership. Enlightenment on the need for strategic partnership with the interior designers. Indeed, it's not an afterthought, but should be carried on in every process of housing development. Thank you so kindly, ma'am. We celebrate and value you. We're moving on next to, just in case you're wondering again, she is the founder and chief executive officer of Teal Harmony. I'm particularly appreciating her because she has a flight. that she had to class. We go for lunch. If you're with me, say yay. If you're not with me, say nay. The ayes have it. Please put your hands together for yourselves. I celebrate and value you all. So this Rialto Growth Masterclass is on the topic from commission to capital. Women scaling sales and building real estate brand. And to make this presented together, have it just right in front of you, because you might have to fill up 50 pages. Thank you, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for this great presenter.
Plus, and we've had quite a lot of things here. I must commend the organizers of the work wealth things here. I must commend the organizers of the work wealth and worth. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. So we've had so much this today, and the exciting part of it all is that everybody has been covered except a group of people. Do we know them? Every aspect of it has been covered, except one important group of people. The people that sell the real estate. They are very important, aren't they? The people that sell land, that sell properties. So if you're here and you've sold or you're selling, how many people are here that sell real estate? Let me see your hands. Oh my God. We are many. Abby? No, the good thing is that all of us here, irrespective of who we are selling something. That is the reality of sales. You are either selling at your job, you're actually motivating people. Everyone is selling something. And more than anything else, a group of people are extremely enterprising. You will see women work in the civil service, in the evening sell something, then do other things. We are so multifaceted and multi-talented. And if I may ask, how many of us actually own property here? Out of all the people that sell, See, the reality of African real estate movement is that there's rapid urbanization and there's a massive housing deficit. So all of us are selling, but how many of us are buying? How many of us own? And from what we just heard at the fireside chat, hardly all of us, a large percentage of us do not even own. And you know, the reality of it all is that there's actually rising property investment. People are buying. Real estate found me. So I was a commission-reliant person for a long time. The money is sweet. How many people know about commission? When you collect that commission, how do you feel? Everybody here, I'm sure you remember your first commission, don't you? I'm sure you do. And what happened afterwards? Hi. Don't ask me, oh. The thing the commission was waiting for something. So at the end of the day, all of us are in this commission trap. That is the reality of our lives. Like I said, I'll infuse a bit of my story. We were in that commission trap, and I discovered that. Can you imagine? We were selling land that was about 750 in Lagos at that time, and the land finished, and many of us realtors didn't get any. And today, those same lands are how much? 100 million. And we did not even keep one for ourselves. So when you look at that wealth ladder, you will see that the marketer is the bottom. You know the marketers, all those agents that will tell you that there could be 10 agents fighting over one house. And then the real 50 million. Land up 50 million. Land appreciates so fast. And we realtors, we commissioned people, we are actually in that space. And we just watch these opportunities. What are we doing? What are we doing? For example, the early investors in Lagos, they built wealth around the growth corridors like Lekki, Ibeju, Lekki, Ekpe. I remember when I was telling my partner today that when Lekki Phase 1 was being sold at 2 million, land in Akpo, that it was just bush, and now it is town. I was looking at Abuja, it is town. I was looking at Abuja when we came in, and they go. Some of us will use it to flange and then sell. I mean, it's a lot. Enjoy and then sell. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. So if you look at it, mortgage people for now, and then you can get to it. So if you look at it, mortgage people for now, and then you can get to the investment mortgage people for now, and then you can get to the investment stage of your are all depending on us. I'm looking at the deal structure framework. The landowner, I mean, sometimes I look at it. You know the funny thing, they are our competition. Sometimes the realtor earns more money than maybe the developer. But at the end of it all, that is the person in the value chain that everybody is looking at. But at the stand, if you look at the next slide, you'll be shocked to see that all those people I mentioned in the value chain, who made the least money, who made the least growth, it is the realtor. Because the developer, the land is appreciating. The Omonile collected his money. The realtor, she has finished spending the commission. There's nothing for him, for her. If you look at that realtor chart, if that realtor is not careful, it's not going to even increase. It will be decreasing. You discover that you are no longer relevant. You are swimming in the red. You are swimming in the red ocean. You are no longer relevant because these young Instagram slay queens, they are taking off. They will come and sell the same market that you are selling and make more money and even outsell you. The places you cannot enter. Some people have the capacity to enter it. So you discover that with your years your relevance as a realtor, if you're not very careful, if you don't pivot quickly, especially as women, you will start depreciating, both in value and in assets. And at the end of the day, you will have single thing to go through. So if you look at the real estate wealth of their ladder, you will discover that even the developer, most times, and the landowners, they don't sell. Most landowners will probably retain a percentage of the land. Developers also they do the same thing. They reserve a percentage. So if they are selling 100 houses, the developers will keep at least maybe 40 to 30% that they can put back on the market and still make their money. But the realtor, he or she has taken their money. So, my fellow citizens of real estate, what are our own wealth moves? What should we be doing? Number one, reinvest your commission. Commissions will not last forever. As much as possible, all of us are going to have opportunities. The fact that you're not even a realtor here, but you know someone that wants to buy land, you could find yourself in that space. I'm a lawyer, and I found myself selling real estate. And then by virtue of your networks, you could find yourself selling. We've all gotten into that position. Please, as much as possible, reinvest your commissions. Buy land early. That's number two. I'll tell you a story. I came from Lagos today. 5 years ago, I sold Ekpe land, and I'm not joking, 350,000 per plot. Land in Ekpe, 350,000, where the international airport is coming. And there were other properties that we were selling then, Ibeju, around the Dangote refinery, and so many. And I remember one woman said, she was a teacher, and she said, me, I can't afford all these 1.5 then million lands. Me, I will buy, how much is the cheapest land? I said, okay, we have 350. She bought the 350,000 at Elerogbe. That land today, the cheapest Elerogbe is 40 million in 5 years. I too looked at it, and I was like, this place is too far. But she's a teacher, so me too, I didn't buy. I lost. Imagine if I had bought 10. And you know the funny thing, as a realtor with commission, we could afford it. At that time. Imagine if you had bought Akpo when it was as cheap as no road. And what happened is, the people I met in real estate, and then we had a JV. You know that immediately we have become developers. So we can buy bulk land. Let's go and buy some land in Ekpe. And when we went into site and services, that was what we did, the value of relationships. And the value of, because you have to work, you are constantly meeting one landowner or the other, one land dealer or the other. A lot of us that are seated here, we have opportunities to go to the government and ask for we have allocation, we can get it. We have networks that can give it to us. And when we get the allocation, I always say something, take the first step. That first step is like what I call the Red Sea step. The thing about ownership of anything, even everyone that was asking a question today, takes that first step and just says, okay, they said I should save for 6 months. This is my 6 months. And that was what we did in Mowe. We got this opportunity. It looked almost impossible. We said, okay, we want to build, but we had vision. And what happened was that there are days, every developer will tell you that there are days that they don't want the day to break. But then again, even in our normal days, in our normal going out and coming in, there are days that we don't want the morning to break. School fees are waiting for us, basic on debts left and right. So it's a normal thing that we are going to face challenges. So please, don't make this, don't look at the impossibility today. We're in Abuja, wherever there's opportunities. All you have to do is open your eyes and you will see them. And when you see them, please don't be afraid. I would just say that, look at our mistakes and then let us see what we can do. Number one, this one happens to all of us. Lifestyle inflation. We start hustling again. That, I've paid the rent too. Next one is going to come. Let me start running. Then that one comes again. I'm no longer traveling economy. It's business class. This deal I just closed. And you know, the funny thing about deals is that they are dangerous. You sold very critical that we find in real estate. The men don't send you. And that is the truth. I've seen in real estate women that woke up one morning and they discovered that what they had didn't belong to them. And then number 3, that you will never buy. I'm going to try and be fast. And then ignoring all the land ownership opportunities. All of us work only for commission instead of equity. Sometimes don't even collect the money. Let's talk. I can do this. Let's partner together. And then we have very weak professional networks. And then we should stop thinking like an agent instead of an owner. You see, that mindset of agent is very, very deadly. So we just the incentives that you get. So don't spend your career. For me, I would say this as a woman. Don't spend your career selling other people's buildings. Build your own commission, your capital, and your cities. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry I took your time. I'm sorry I didn't allow you to have lunch. But this, I hope, it was worth it. So my name is Labake. Thank you very much.
Thank you so kindly, ma'am. Before you run, and to also show you that we enjoyed this session for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So I want us to move forward. We're having one group here. Please let's move forward because we can't take individual questions. And we assure that the speakers have done justice to their topics. However, you have your individual pain point, yeah? So you know what is the exact problem in real estate as to each and every one of each levels. We believe that there are different levels in the real estate business. So at your immediate level, what problem are you facing? And those who want to own a home, you know, what problem are you facing? Someone mentioned her problem, and I'm sure that the problem, if we come here and we just listen to sessions without solving our problems, you know, we will feel we've not done justice to your investment. So please, can we move forward? We would have another group there. There will be another group. Please, those this way should stay there. So can we please come here? Please, those of you on this line, please come. Yes, please. Let's fill up the space. Yes. Let's fill up the space. Yes, please, to the front. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. And in the room, I'm a man. Please, can we stand up? Let's put our hands together for them. Let's put our hands together for them. It's not competition, it's collaboration. And we're so glad that you understand. Each group, you have a team lead. Your team lead will represent you on stage on your question. I'm sure that we have a gift for the best. So very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while we're having the breakout sessions in 3 different platoons, if your hands are not too busy, I crave your indulgence to kindly put your hands together for the founder and CEO, Rock Realty Limited, Dr. Ibikun Adebayo. Can you give us a wave, ma'am? Okay, thank you so much. So while we're having our breakout session for 5 minutes, just so talking about the he for she, collaboration, and great men who support women in this journey of inclusivity and equity. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please join me as we welcome Dr. Yomi Tisha. Please let's continue with our talks. We have 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left, and I hope we have chosen our team leads. If it's Group C, what's going on? Who's our team lead? Who's our team lead for Group C? Covered our suggestions, so it's important that these policies go out there. Every time we keep blaming the government, but we are the government, so let's solve the problems and come up with the immediate problem that we're having in the housing and construction sector. Thank you so much. Pardon? Oh, fantastic. Your call. You choose your team lead. Thank you. Team blue, team red, and team yellow. Great leaders, your team is team yellow. Thank you. Red, blue, and yellow. So once you're called, you know whom to bring as your representative. Thank you. Say time's up. The 3 team leads would come out. If your team lead is not ready, your group is disqualified. Thank you. Again, solution. All right? So while you're stating one major problem, represent well. And the time. 5, if you don't chair your team lead while they are speaking, well, I won't be held responsible to your team not getting the mark. 6, 7, 8,